In this instructional video, we'll be looking at how we can use the Arduino to send information to the computer via a serial port. So first off, we need to set up the serial port, and to do that we need to use the setup function. So void setup, and we use this command serial.begin, and we specify the baud rate of the serial port. In this case we use the default value of 9600 baud, or 9600 bits per second. Specifies how fast we're transmitting the data to the computer. Next thing we need to do is write our command to actually transmit some data. So we'll do that inside our loop function. We use the command serial.print, and then we write what we want to actually send. So in this case we'll just write hello world, and we'll end it in a semicolon. Whenever we're sending text strings that we want to send back, we need to put them inside our talking marks. Now this will send it way too fast for us to see, so what we'll do is we'll slow things down a bit, otherwise we'll be sending too much information to the computer. So we'll put a delay in there of half a second, and that will send the data and then delay for a bit. So we'll upload that to our Arduino. Once we've uploaded it, it will begin sending our data back to our PC pretty well straight away. To actually view the data, we click on our serial monitor. So we click on serial monitor, it'll bring up a serial terminal, and there's our data being sent by our Arduino. Now you'll notice one thing, that we don't have any spaces or new lines or anything between our the strings that we're sending. So that doesn't look too great. What we might do is change this a bit and say, instead of print, we say print ln, which is short for print line. What that will do is each time it sends one of them, it also sends what's called new line character, which puts us onto the next line, so they won't be all joined together like that. It's a nice way of separating our data and formatting it. Once that's uploaded, we'll put our serial monitor on again. We see hello world, hello world, hello world, each on the next line. Now we can do more fancy things than just print hello world. How about we print a variable? So we'll have a variable, we'll call it I for want of a better name, and we'll initialize it to 0 in our setup function. Then instead of printing our hello world, we can just directly print the value I. And so it's a bit more interesting. Let's do something with I. I is equal to I plus 3. So what this should do is first print the value 0, because that's the initial value of I, and then every 500 milliseconds it will increment that value by 3 and print that new value. So once it's uploaded, we click on our serial monitor again, print 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, and so on. Now we can actually mix these two things up. We can print some text and we can print some variables as well. So if we want to do this, we just use two separate print commands. So what we're going to do here is write some text that says value of I, colon and a space, and then we'll print the value of I, and then because we've used the print line command, it will go on to the next line. Once that's uploaded, we should be able to see it all on the serial monitor. Value of I, 0, 3, 6, 9, and so on. There we go. So that should set you up for logging data and sending messages back and forth between your Arduino and your computer.